Good morning. Good morning.
Recording in progress.
Good morning. Okay. Good morning, students. Welcome to the Botany second class, the living world. And today we'll read about the next part of our discussion. मैं आपको फिर स्वागत करता हूँ. मैं आपका रश्मिरंजन दास रेड्डी सर फिर आपको स्वागत करता हूँ सेकंड एंड इट इज आल्सो वन ऑफ द इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट ऑफ आवर डिस्कशन. हम लोग लास्ट क्लास में आपको लिविंग कैरेक्टर्स के बारे में बताए थे, आपको याद होगा. एंड लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स जो होते हैं दे आर नॉट फ्यू, देयर आर सो मेनी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स आर देयर. तो टुडे we'll discuss about the next part, that is our लोग जब नेक्स्ट पार्ट में चलते हैं तो आपका आता है नहीं वहां पर आता है नॉट मीडिएटेड ओवरलैपिंग का यहाँ पर दोनों बढ़ाने से ओवरलैपिंग. हेलो हेलो इको इको हेलो माय ऑडिबल लिखो चैट में am I audible? Yes, yes. Yes, yes. डाइवर्सिटी जो होता है वो दो टाइप का होता है. वन इज डाइवर्सिटी आपका स्पीसीज लेवल में भी हो सकता है, डाइवर्सिटी आपका जीन लेवल में भी हो सकता है. जैसे हम लोग जब बाहर दुनिया देखते हैं, अंडर वर्ल्ड देखते हैं, तो वी आर ऑब्जर्विंग सो मेनी प्लांट्स, एनिमल्स, and even we may not find some of the species like microbes. Got? So a large variety of living organisms are present, such as आपका hops होता है, shrubs होता है, trees होता है, birds होता है. You can see that diagram. So many plants, animals, whatever we can observing outside, they are usually bigger than eukaryotic, multicellular, so that we can see them very easily. Got? But when we talk about microbes. Can you see all these microbes? Unless there is microscope, you cannot view all these microscope. अगर आप लिविंग वर्ल्ड का बारे में ठीक से जानना चाहते हो, then you have to see all these organisms and microbes को जानना थोड़ा और भी difficult हो जाता है. So we should use, therefore we cannot find all these organisms. Okay, तो वेराइटी जानने के लिए, for knowing all these varieties, we should explore them. We should get the idea how these microorganisms are present, how these plants and animals are present. Can you see all the living organisms in the world? Can you see all the living organisms in the world? No, you cannot see all the living organisms in the world. Therefore, whatever species अभी तक हम लोग जितना डिस्कवर किए हैं, whatever species we know up to now, these are not completely explored. Okay. So what is biodiversity? It is about the two parts: the number and types of organisms present on the earth, and the second one is the it is variety and having lot of diversity. Okay, the our planet Earth having diverse lives. Can you imagine how many varieties are there? How many species are there? Plants varieties are more or animals varieties more? You can write also. अगर pen and paper होगा, so you can write also how many varieties are there. Okay, there are 70 lakhs variety of species are there. I'm seeing here बीच में हम लोग chatting करेंगे like as usual last time भी जैसे chat किए थे. Okay, तो आप मेरे से बात भी कर सकते हो. Okay, so how many varieties are there? About 70 according to Robert. Yes, Vishnupriya, correct. Animal species are more. तो कैसे ये वेराइटी फॉर्म, ओके, हाउ दिस वेराइटीज आर फॉर्म. पहले तो मिनिमम वेराइटीज था, वेरी गुड, एनिमल्स एंड दैट टू इंसेक्ट्स आर मोर, बट पहले लिमिटेड वेराइटीज था, बट आहिस्ता आहिस्ता so many varieties are evolved because of two reasons. The first reason is that कि the nature, the environment is not uniform. Okay, ये एक एरिया से दूसरे एरिया तक डिफरेंट हो जाता है. सपोज आप हॉट कंट्री में हो तो आपका ब्लैक पिगमेंटेशन आ जाता है. ओके, so that means जब हमारा environment is not uniform, they are adapted in a different way to different environment, so that different types are formed. And is it because of genetic constituents? Is it because of genetic constituents? Okay, तो आगे चलते हैं और देखिए नेक्स्ट पार्ट में चलिए. ओके, नंबर ऑफ स्पीसीज कितना होता है बताओ, नंबर ऑफ स्पीसीज कितना होता है? इट इज अबाउट 17 lakhs. Okay, 17 lakhs to 18 lakhs, 1.7 to 1.8 millions. These are the known species. Maybe the number of species is more than that. Only 20% species are explored. Okay, अगर हम लोग उस स्पीसीज को एक्सप्लोर नहीं करेंगे, देख नहीं पाएंगे, कैन, यस, वेरी गुड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर, एंड अगर हम लोग उसको देख नहीं पाएंगे तो हम लोग उसके बारे में कैसे क्लासिफाई करेंगे और उसको हम कैसे यूटिलाइज कर पाएंगे. So this data is because of IUCN. Okay, international. आप लिख सकते हो, this data is because of IUCN, and IUCN is nothing but international. लिख सकते हो, International Union for Conservation of Nature. Okay, and natural resources. Okay, मैं थोड़ा अलग पेन में लिखता हूँ तो आपको ज्यादा अच्छी लगती है. And natural resources. According to this International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. Okay, according to this, we can get better pictures. Okay, how many are there? 1.7 to 1.8 million species are present. Okay, what is the full form? IUCN. All of you can tell me what is the full form of IUCN? International Union for कंजर्वेशन ऑफ नेचर एंड नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज। वेरी गुड। आगे चलते हैं, तो नेक्स्ट पार्ट में चलिए। Why biodiversity is important? Biodiversity is important because of two reasons. Okay, the first one is it is important for ecosystem regulation. What I have written there, you can see it is important for ecosystem regulation. अगर आपके पास green plants नहीं होगा, can you make inorganic to organic? No. अगर आपके पास ग्रीन प्लांट होगा तभी आप इनऑर्गेनिक से ऑर्गेनिक फूड मेटल्स बना सकते हैं। वेरी गुड। एंड द सेकेंड पार्ट इज, अगर आपके पास डिकम्पोजर नहीं होगा तो कैन यू मेक ऑर्गेनिक टू इनऑर्गेनिक? नो। therefore organic substance are converted into inorganic, inorganic substances are converted into organic। therefore these two plants and decomposers, ये दोनों हम लोग के लिए जरूरी है। समझ में आ रहा है आपको? अगर ये स्पीसीज नहीं होगा तो कैन ह्यूमन बीइंग सर्वाइव एलोन? we need we need rice or not? Yes, we need rice, we need dal or not? therefore the varieties of plants are needed, otherwise it is meaningless। so for species survival, for regulation of ecosystem and for economic well-being, biodiversity is highly needed। Hence, classification of categories, all organisms known to us in specific scientific arrangement। अगर हमारे पास इतने सारे प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स हैं, उनको यूज करने के लिए we should learn ना, we should classify them, we should make under proper category and we should know them। suppose आप एक स्कूल में हो and all the students are in same area, can you get the idea whether they are in class 11 or class 12, in which section, whether they have physics, chemistry, botany, or they have physics, chemistry, biology, botany, zoology, or they have maths or physical education, or like that? therefore हम लोग उनको क्या करते हैं, we are making them categorized and after that only वो कौन सा सेक्शन में है and their ranking, क्लास का रैंक, ये सब करते हैं। therefore इतना बायोडाइवर्सिटी को प्रॉपरली रीड करने के लिए, प्रॉपरली उनको क्लासिफाई करने के लिए हम लोग को उनको आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा, कैरेक्टराइजेशन भी करना पड़ेगा। ओके, so that will be our next part of our discussion and you go to the next page। आपको समझ में आ जाएगा। तो एक पॉइंट बताइए, हम लोग प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स को कैसे क्लासिफाई किए? ओके, बताइए कैसे क्लासिफाई किया? अर्लिएस्ट क्लासिफिकेशन, हाउ यू हैव मेड दिस क्लासिफिकेशन? ओके, हमने चार पॉइंट्स आपको दिया, तो कैन यू टेल मी हाउ तो यू रीड दिस क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर मी। Yes, earliest classification were based on uses of various organisms। Yes, and हम लोग इसको क्लासिफाई क्यों करते थे? बेस्ड ऑन फूड, क्लोथिंग एंड शेल्टर्स। ओके, तो हम लोग को इमीडिएट इकोनॉमिक बेनिफिट अगर नहीं मिलेगा तो हम लोग उसको क्लासिफाई कैसे करेंगे? therefore what should the answer? बताओ, what should the answer? बताइए, should the answer? Both are correct. Yes, both are correct. And this is the right explanation. ठीक है? This will be a both correct and correct explanation. Okay? सबको समझ में आ गया? आगे, should I move to next page? आगे चले? Yes लिखो। How many species are there in the world? Clear कीजिए। How many species are there in the world? 17 to 18 lakhs. Very good. And I have written here basic processes of taxonomy because it is based on NCERT. Okay, NCERT में basic process दिया है। You may say these are the steps of taxonomy। अगर आपको मैं identify कर पाऊंगा, I may identify you। Very good, Saroj. Very good, Siddiq. This to be also, Somejit also। तो हम लोग आपको identify कर पाएंगे But the thing is that basic process of taxonomy में the thing is that कि आपको identify मैं कर पाऊंगा even if I don't know your name, but I cannot identify you if I am not getting the right characters. Okay. Therefore, though the fundamental states in taxonomy is derived from a Greek word. Okay. Taxes and nomos. Taxes taxes and numbers. Numbers means rules. So we have to classify all these living organisms based on fundamental rules. So there are four fundamental states you can say. As per NCERT, they have written basic processes, but there are four fundamental states. And can you know all these states? One is characterization. The second one is identification. And the third one is classification. And the fourth one is what? What should be the fourth one? The nomenclature. Without naming you, it is meaningless. आगे चले? Okay. Characterization में आप आइए. Okay. So how to characterize? Okay. How to characterize? तो आपको क्या मालूम होना चाहिए एक organisms के बारे में to characterize? So you should see it externally, okay, and internally. And again, the structure of cell, maybe eukaryotic, maybe prokaryotic, and development process also, and ecological.
Recording in progress.
Of cell, prokaryotic, eukaryotic, thallus organization, multicellular or unicellular, is some and ecological information, whether they're green or they're producers or not, they're decomposers or they're consumers or not. All this together, हम लोग उसका characterization पर बात करेंगे. Am I clear? आगे चले? Okay. आगे चले? Yes. तो लिख लिया ये लाइन लिख लिया सबने ये लाइन लिख लिया Okay, I'll go on talking with you so many things, but आपको वो line 100% समझ में आना चाहिए. What is the fundamental most important state? NCERT written basic processes, but what is the most fundamental state? This as per NCERT हमारा subject
Recording in progress.
therefore that is identification. Now, next one, you are in which section? Suppose you are in class 11, plus 2 first year, or plus 2 second year. এটা বুঝিବାକୁ ପଡିବ ହେଲା କ୍ଲାସ୍ 11 ଅଛ ନା 12 ଅଛ ତ ତମେ ପୁଅ ପିଲା ଅଛ ନା ଝିଅ ପିଲା ଅଛ ତ ଆମେ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଗ୍ରୁପରେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଆମେ କ୍ଲାସିଫାଏ କରିପାରିବା ପ୍ରୋକାରିଓଟିକ୍ ରେ କରିପାରିବା ୟୁକାରିଓଟିକ୍ ରେ କରିପାରିବା ୟୁନିସେଲୁଲାର କରିପାରିବା ପ୍ଲାଣ୍ଟ କରିପାରିବା ଆନିମଲ କରିପାରିବା तो we can classify them. So that means हम लोग को जब क्लासिफाई करना पड़ता है तो क्या करना पड़ता है द ग्रुपिंग ऑफ ऑर्गेनिजम्स ओके इनटू कन्वेंट कैटेगरीज और टैक्सा क्योंकि टैक्सोनॉमी का यूनिट को एनी रैंक हो सकता है उसको टैक्सन बोलते हैं एंड कैटेगरीज भी बोलते हैं तो टैक्सा it is a grouping of organisms into convened category. हमें mammals से भी रख परिवा गोटे जार mammary glands थे वो हमें vertebrates एंड डिफरेंट लेवल मतलब अच्छी है ना कहीं टाइगर एंड ह्यूमन बीइंग दीटा जांको मामल्स ही परंती किंतु आर दे एग्जैक्टली सेम नो तो क्लासिफिकेशन ना डिफरेंट लेवल्स भी अच्छी therefore here at introductory level I'm
Recording in progress.
say it is tiger, therefore identification can be done when we can go for right kind of characterization. Though our intention is identification, but characterization is the process. And after identification, next step is classification and nomenclature. What is going on? Okay. So is it clear? LN college, Jashoda? आगे चले? Okay. तो आप मुझे लास्ट स्टेप बताइए इसका क्या है लास्ट स्टेप ओके अगर आप नोमेनक्लेचर बोलते हो व्हाट इज नोमेनक्लेचर कैन आई गिव एनी नेम सपोज पिजुड़ी को ओडिशा रो डिफरेंट पार्ट रे कोठी मया कहंती कोठी पेड़ा कहंती किंतु आमे नेशनली जतबे कथा हवा कि इंटरनेशनली जतबे कथा हवा पिजुड़ी कहले कोन समस्त बुझी परिबे नो ता माने होची जे हमर ए जो गोटे पर्टिकुलर स्पीसीज बा पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म सब जगह रे समान नहीं तो दैट एक साइंटिफिक रूल एंड रेगुलेशन हमें कैटेगराइज कर परिया तो हमको स्टैंडर्डाइज करिया पड़ो स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन. Yes, very good question. Then the standardization of names of organisms so that an organism
Recording in progress.
Abelmosters explanations that throughout the globe it is same. It may be India, it may be America. That scientific way approach should be there. Okay. तो हम लोग आगे चलते हैं तो organisms represents taxons at same levels or different levels बताइए organism represent taxon at different level गोटे जगह रे मु yes I'll tell you Saroj तो आगे जाके बताएंगे hence based on characteristics all of the organisms can be classified into different taxa ओके तो पहले मुझे बताइए टैक्सोनॉमी है क्या द प्रोसेस ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन नाउ ऑल ऑफ यू आर क्लियर बट हु गेव दिस आइडिया ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन ओके हु गेव दिस आइडिया ऑफ टैक्सोनॉमी कैन यू टेल मी टैक्सोनॉमी का आइडिया किसने कॉइन किया था द वर्ड वाज
Recording in
lambda
progress.
x2 plus x1 upon 1 plus lambda and y coordinate in the cross manner, apply cross manner, lambda y2 plus y1 upon 1 plus lambda, right? These points are lies on which axis? X-axis. If a point lies on x-axis, its y coordinate must be equal to 0. So lambda y2 plus y1 upon 1 plus lambda equals to 0. So lambda y2 plus y1 equals to 0. This implies lambda equals to minus of y1 upon y2. Using the same logic, we can get the second one and the third one. Okay. Okay, let's move forward. The next point is various triangles, various circles Next point is write down centroid. The point of concurrency of medians of a triangle is called centroid, and usually it is denoted by G in Euclidean geometry. You see, what is median? The Sebian. Sebian means a point which joins vertex of a triangle to any point of the opposite side is known as Sebian, and median is also a Sebian. Median is the line which joins a vertex to midpoint of the opposite side. If D be the midpoint of a BC, then we can say AD is a median. Similarly, if E is the midpoint of SC, then B is another median and CF will be another median. F is the midpoint of AB. F is the midpoint of AB, right? So AD, B and CF, these are medians. These three medians pass through a same point. Concurrent means pass through a same point, and their point of concurrency is known as centroid. This point is called centroid. And usually it is denoted by the capital letter G. Centroid is also known as center of mass. Okay. So write down a note point. Centroid divides the respective medians Centroid divide the respective medians in the ratio 2:1. Centroid divides the respective medians in the ratio 2:1. That means if this length is 2 part, this length will be 1 part, this is 2 part, this is 1 part, 2 part, this is 1 part. Centroid divides the respective medians in the ratio 2:1. That means if ABC is a triangle, this is triangle ABC, okay. So this is the suppose midpoint D. So it is median. G will be here. AG is to GD equals 2:1. AD is to GD is equal to 2:1. Then the next note point is centroid divides the triangle into 3 triangles of equal area. Three triangles of equal area. That is, if ABC is a triangle and GB the centroid of the triangle, it will always lie inside the triangle. Okay. If you join G with the vertices, we'll get three triangles. One of the triangle will be GAB, other triangle will be GBC, and third one will be GAC. So we can write area of triangle GAP equals area of triangle GBC equals area of triangle GCA. So 2 to 3 years back, a question was asked in JEE Mains. Coordinates of vertices of a triangle were given, and the question was, find the coordinates of the point inside the triangle such that it divides the triangle into three triangles of equal area. Okay, so directly we'll put this formula. Then next point, coordinates of centroid of triangle. Coordinates of centroid of triangle. That means if coordinates of vertices of a triangle are given, then how to get the coordinates of the centroid of the triangle? So note it down. If AX1, Y1, BX2, Y2, CX3, Y3 be the vertices of a triangle, then the coordinates of its centroid are x1, x2 plus x3 upon 3, y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. Okay, let me discuss some questions on these concepts on section formula and centroid. If the point R having coordinate x1 plus t whole into x2 minus x1, comma y1 plus t whole into y2 minus y1 divides the line segment joining Px1 y1 and Qx2y2 internally then find the range of T. Okay. So what is given? P is a line segment, P is a point, then P and Q. The coordinates of P are x1, y1. Coordinates of point Q are x2, y2. And R is a point which lies on the line segment PQ. And the coordinates of point R also given. The coordinates of R are x1 plus T whole into x2 minus x1, T is a constant, okay? Plus y1 plus T whole into y2 minus 1. The question is, if this point R divides PQ internally, then we have to find out the range of the point T. And we know the formula how to find the ratio in which a line segment is divided by a point. That formula is x minus x1 upon x2 minus x. Okay. So one thing you should remember, if this ratio is positive, division is internal. If the ratio is positive, then the division is internal. If the ratio is negative, then the division is external. If the ratio is negative, then the division is external. Okay. So first calculate at what ratio the line segment PQ is divided by the point R. We should consider this one as x, this one as y, this is x1 and this is x2. Okay. X minus x1, that is x1 plus T whole into x2 minus x1 upon x2 minus x is x1 minus T whole into x2 minus x1. This is the ratio by which the point R divides PQ. Okay, sorry, x minus x1, x minus x1. So here x1 cancels. This is equal to T into x2 minus x1 upon, if you take x2 minus x1 as common in the denominator, that will be x2 minus x1 times. If you take x2 minus x1 common from this term, 1 will be left over, and from second term, T will be left over. So x2 minus x1 cancels. So what is the ratio we get here? The ratio is T upon 1 minus T. Since it is given that R divides internally, the ratio should be positive. So T upon 1 minus T should be greater than 0, right? To solve the inequality, we have to make the coefficient of the unknown quantity positive. In the denominator, the coefficient of T is negative, so make it positive on multiplying negative to both sides. And all of you know, if you multiply a negative sign to both sides of the inequality, then straight away it will be reversed. So on multiplying T minus 1 to both sides, it will be T upon T minus 1 should be greater than 0. And I hope you know the Weivikar method to solve the inequality. So the critical point of the numerator is 0. The critical point of the denominator is 1. Now apply the sign scheme plus minus plus. I don't know whether you know it or not. If you know it well and good, if you don't know, then it will be very difficult to understand this question. Okay. So from the sign scheme, we find that, sorry. I'm wrong here. It will be less than 0. So negative region is required. From the sign scheme, we find that the negative region is 0 to 1. So answer is the range of T is 0 to 1. Okay, let me check the chat box. We can't understand. Please explain one more. Which question? The last one or the present one, which I am explaining now? Hello, Joseph Aman. Let me know which question you didn't understand. this question? Should I explain it again? Hello, Aman. Okay. Okay. Let me discuss it again. 2 points P and Q are given. The line segment joining P and Q is divided by another point R. Coordinates of point R also given. And the question is, in the coordinates of the point R, there is a unknown parameter that is T. The question is to find out the value of the unknown parameter for which the point R divides the line segment PQ internally, right? So first of all, we should know at what ratio the line segment PQ is divided by the point R, okay? For that, we have a formula. That formula is x minus x1 by x2 minus x. What is x? X is the x coordinate of the point which divides the line segment. Here, the x is x1 plus t into x2 minus x1. Either we will use this formula or we can use the y coordinate formula, y minus y1 upon y2 minus y minus y1 upon y2 minus y. Okay. So we considered this one as x, this is x1, this is x2. The formula is x minus x1 upon x2 minus x. If this ratio is positive, then division will be internal. If the ratio is negative, then the division is external. Okay. Now write the formula. In place of x, we can write x1 plus t into x2 minus x1 minus x coordinate of the point p, that is x1, all over x2 minus x, that is x2 minus of this one, x2 minus x1 minus t times x2 minus x1. Here x1 cancels. What is left over in the numerator? That is t times x2 minus x1. In the denominator, we can take x2 minus x1 as common. If we take x2 minus x1 as common, 1 will be left in the first term and minus 2 will be left in the second term, right? So x2 minus x1 is the common term which gets cancelled. So what is left over? The leftover term is ratio is t upon 1 minus t. This is the ratio by which the line segment joining PQ is divided by the point R. For internal division, ratio will be positive, that is t upon 1 minus t should be greater than 0. So you must be facing difficulties on understanding this part, because I think if you know how to solve inequalities, then you can understand, not otherwise. On solving inequalities, the coefficient of the unknown quantity should be positive. Here the coefficient of t in the denominator is negative. We have to make it positive on multiplying negative sign. If you multiply negative sign, then the sign will be reversed. Here greater or equal to 0 means positive. If you multiply negative sign, it will be negative. So t upon t minus 1 is less than 0. Now you can solve it by using the sign scheme or Weibull curve method. Okay. So equate each of the linear term to 0. We will equate it numerator to 0 or denominator, or we can solve it in another way. A upon b, a rational expression. A upon b is negative, right? If A upon b is negative, then what are the possibilities? Either one of them is positive and the other is negative. Suppose numerator positive, denominator negative. This will be one case, and the second case will be numerator negative, denominator positive. Plus minus will give you negative value, minus plus will give you negative value. So case wise we can find. So let us consider case 1. Let me use another page. Okay guys. So t upon t minus 1, right? T upon t minus 1 is less than 0. Now we can take two cases. Case 1, numerator positive, denominator negative. T greater than 0 and a t minus 1 less than 0, right? T minus 1 less than 0 means t less than 1. So take the number line. This is 0, t is greater than 0. This region, t is less than 1. This region, the intersecting region is t belongs to 0 to 1. I think this method will be beneficial for you. Seven charts, what happened? Don't understand, sir. A circle is Balyapal. And the case to second case, the numerator is negative, t less than 0, and t minus 1 greater than 0. This is impossible case. T less than 0 means this is suppose number line 0, negative region, and t greater than 1. Greater than 1, t is 1, greater than region. So no common region is found. So not possible. Here we can write t belongs to 5. No such value of t exists. So only the case 1 is correct. So the possible region for t or interval for t is t belongs to 0 to 1. Okay, guys, let's come to next question. A question from an centroid of triangle. Write down the next question. Let a2, 3 b minus 1, 4 and c minus 1 be the vertices of a triangle, be the vertices of a triangle ABC. Find the coordinates of a point inside the triangle ABC such that area of triangle PAB equals to area of triangle PBC equal to area, short form लिख दो पहले, triangle PCA. Okay. Okay. Let's come to the discussion. What is given here? A triangle is given. Coordinates of vertices of the triangle are given. This is vertex A, this is vertex B, this is vertex C. The coordinates of vertex A are 2, 3. The coordinates of vertex B are minus 1, 4. Coordinates of vertex C are 3, minus 1. Okay. We have to find out a point. Find out a point means we have to find out the coordinates of the point inside the triangle so that that point divides this triangle into 3 triangles of equal area. Suppose this is the point P. Use the note point. I told you if the point P divides the triangle ABC into 3 triangles of equal area, that point P must be the centroid of the triangle. So if xy be the coordinates of the point P, this is a previous question for J mains. So x is equal to x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3. 2 minus 1 plus 3 upon 3. And y equals 3 plus 4 minus 1 upon 3. So 5 minus 1, 4 upon 3. 7 minus 6 upon 3 would be 2. So coordinates of the required point P are 4 upon 3, 2. From where do we get the formula? Okay, you should refer the books for J mains and J advanced. Okay, either you can use coordinate geometry by Aryan publication by S.K. Goel, Dr. S.K. Goel, or you can use coordinate geometry, Sanders publication. Okay, or you can use pink book. Pink book will be little bit higher for you, or you can use Adi Sharma for JEE Mains and Advanced. Okay, so many books are there. You can use any of the book, and you have to go through some materials of renowned institutions. Okay, then you will get the formula. Otherwise, I'll give you all the formulae, but there is no scope to discuss all the formula here because Euclidean formulas are used here. So basically Euclidean geometry is taught in class 9 and 10. Okay. So you just remember the formula only. I'll tell you, and that's all. That's enough. Formula. Just remember the formula and apply it. Then 5 minutes left to discuss another question. Very interesting one. Write down. If alpha, beta, and gamma are roots of the equation. Generally, this type of questions are asked in JEE Mains. If alpha, beta, and gamma are roots of the equation, x cube minus 6x square plus 11x minus 6 is equal to 0. If alpha, beta, and gamma are roots of the equation x cube minus 6x square plus 11x minus 6 is equal to 0, then find the coordinates of centroid of triangle. Whose vertices are alpha, 1 by alpha, beta, 1 by beta, and gamma, 1 by gamma. Okay? Okay. This is the triangle given. This is vertex A, vertex B, vertex C. Coordinates of vertex A are alpha, 1 upon alpha. Coordinates of vertex B are beta, 1 by beta. And coordinates of vertex C are gamma, 1 by gamma. Right? On solving this equation, we can get the value of alpha, beta, gamma. Without solving for actual roots also, we can get the coordinates. So value of alpha, beta, and gamma. Okay. Now try to solve it. You see, in this equation, sum of the coefficients are 0. X cube minus 6x square, x cube minus 6x square plus 11x minus 6 is equal to 0. Now check what is the sum of the coefficients. Minus 6 is minus 12. 11 plus 1 is 12. If sum of the coefficient is 0, then x is equal to 1 is the root of this equation. Because if you put x is equal to 0, what will be left over? If you take x is equal to 0, it will be 1 minus 6 plus 11 minus 6. This is equal to 0 only. So try to remember, this is very important concept of algebra. Whenever you are going to solve an equation, first put x is equal to 1 in that equation. If it becomes 0, then x minus 1 is the factor of that expression. Got it? Okay. So if sum of the coefficients is 0, note it down. If sum of the coefficients of an equation is 0, then x is equal to 1 is a root. If x is equal to 1 is a root, by factor theorem, x minus 1 will be a factor. On dividing that expression by x minus 1. Now divide x cube minus 6x square plus 11x minus 6 by x minus 1. By 2 divided by x minus 1. Here we get x is equal to 1 is a root. If x is equal to 1 is a root, then x minus 1 will be a factor. X minus 1 will be a factor means this expression is completely divisible by x minus 1. By long division, if you divide this expression by x minus 1, the remainder will be 0 and the quotient will be x square minus 5x plus 6. Okay. So x cube minus 6x square, x cube minus 6x square plus 11x minus 6 can be factorized as x minus 1 times x square minus 5x plus 6. Again, this is a quadratic expression. This can be factorized very easily. Sum is minus 5 and product is 6. So the two factors will be 2 and 3. So x minus 1 and this one will be factorized as x minus 2 times x minus 3. I hope you understand this. Okay. So x cube minus 6x square plus 11x minus 6 is equal to 0 implies x minus 1 times x minus 2 times x minus 3 equals to 0. So the root to this equation are 1, 2 and 3. Okay. You can take alpha as 1 or beta is equal to 1 or gamma is equal to 1 according to your choice. So if you take alpha as 1, the coordinates of vertex A will be 1, 1. Coordinates of, if you take beta is equal to 2, it will be 2, 1 by 2. If you take gamma as 3, this one will be 3, 1 by 3. Now apply the formula for centroid x1 plus x2. 1 plus 2 plus 3 upon 3, then 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 upon 3. Okay? That box. Screen is lagging. Okay, right. So I hope you understand this. The rest of the things we'll discuss in the next class. Class is over.